Hello and welcome to a new devlog of the runes of Aereal. What I've been up to lately is, let's start the main menu, and if we go to the journey here, we can already see that it's not asking me to start a new journey, but it's actually asking me to abandon the current journey or continue the current journey. That's why the reason that is because I've stored an extra item called journey started in the local storage. And if it's set, that means that the journey has already started and we have the option to abandon it or to continue it. So I can just abandon it now, which will clear that item. And then if we click journey again, we can choose difficulty level and then we can start like that. So what I've been doing next also is I've made it so that it always picks battle temporarily. This is just test stuff here as an action to do when clicking on an item on a map point. Actually, see, it just says go fight, and then we go fight. Let's do a battle, and you can see here at the top now we have this level here. We're currently level 1. We have a 0 experience because we just started actually. And you can see that whenever we do something, this experience will rise. It's been there for quite some time, but it becomes important now because you'll see that I've added a threshold. And let me just finish up this game here. Okay.
Enemy turn. Feeble. Your turn.
Let's kill this one off.
Victory is yours.
Collect some stuff. And then you'll see what I've added as well. Here is a countdown timer. You can go here and then you have to check out where you want to go next. We come back. If we go further, we click further. And then we can go back again. But as long as this countdown timer is going here, we will not be able to start a new battle, for example. So here we can start a new battle, and then everything starts from the top, of course. So what is all this about? We have this in the main menu event sheet. You can see here that we have this variable called journey started, and this is obtained from the local storage. Whenever that is set, you'll see that the journey started is calling load game instead of character selection when clicking on the start of the journey, for example. And also when we click on the journey menu option, we check if it started or not, and then we change the buttons accordingly. We set the text to continue journey, or we set the welcome back stranger and stuff like that. Else we just choose your character, and then we can just continue. So that's to encompass a user going back into a game and continuing the game as he wants to. So as I said, on the map, I'll always be doing that battle option, but I've added something considerably here as well. So we have already this generation map functions. What it does actually, when a map is being created for the first time, it will generate random map points. So this is here, build a random map point, and the build a random map point uses this probability table, which I've just tweaked a little bit, so it always starts battle. So it's not really that random anymore because I've tweaked that probability table really, but that's just for debugging reasons. And then we build a specific map point, and before just building that specific map point, we're just adding some instance variables or filling in some instance variables of a specific map point. But now we're not going to do that anymore. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create JSON objects in a dictionary, actually. So we've got two dictionaries which apply here. We've got the map point, or actually a dictionary and a JSON file, sorry. So it's the map data which the key is the unique identifier of the map point, and attached to that as a value of that map data is actually a string. It's actually a JSON string. So what does it look like? What does it do here? For we pick the last created temporary JSON. It's a temporary JSON. We pick it. We set a mission type as an attribute and then a description. We set the action which it needs to do. We set the options which it needs to do, and then we check if it needs to create a combat definition right or not. So we set the combat definition probability table, and then it gets me some combat definition, and then it gets me some enemies, and we need to calculate the cost. For example, if there is a cost to be paid, for example, gold to go into the city, that is a cost to be paid, and we can set it here. If passage cost or city cost, then we calculate the cost, yes or no. And if this cost needs to be calculated, we set the context to, in this case, hard-coded just 200 coins, but in the future we'll make this more interesting, of course. And we replace the placeholder percentage sign, gold percentage sign, by that context, of course. So this is actually creating a total JSON string, and what we do is we just add that JSON string with the key of the map bound UID to the temp JSON get as compact string here. So in order to let you see what that actually looks like, I'm going to into the debug mode here. Let's just abandon that journey again and go to create a new one. And then we should have map data here in my variables. Map data, here we have it. And you can see that all of these numbers are unique identifiers of these map points. And then you can see this is mission type battle force. There is only one option saying battle. Time for combat is the description. And there's some extra things here, the descriptions of the enemies, for example, which enemies are there, what are they able to do, what is their health and shield and stuff like that, and then mission type description is go fight. So this is basically what happens, and whenever we click some like this one, then we also have this map point JSON. And then we can see here it's being passed along instant to instance data, and it's being passed along into the game, and the game now knows, okay, we're forcing a battle. This is a combat definition. I need to add this enemy here with 15 health. Should be about here somewhere. Health 5. It's a good question. So it creates the enemy and stuff like that, and starting from the map point JSON file, we add it here in the map data dictionary. So why did I do that? Because actually it's much more handy to pass along extra stuff into your battle, starting from a JSON file with some extra stuff here, instead of passing along a lot of extra other instance variables and stuff like that. So it's just more handy. What I also did is I've changed the add experience function here, because right now what we have is an extra variable called level up threshold, and this level up threshold, whenever we start the game here, we set this level up threshold to a starting value. Right now it's set to 1000, and once your experience goes above 1000, your level will increase, and later on in the development of the game, all the extra stuff with a higher level will have some other capabilities as opposed to lower levels, of course. So in order to see how it really works, what happens if we change level, let's do, for example, instead of the threshold 10 instead of 1000, then we go back into the game and we start a new game. We go into the battle, and then you'll see I have 0 experience and one level, of course. But whenever I play a card, I will add 10 experience here, and then you'll see it is leveled up. You see this is level up, message is coming, and this becomes 2, of course. And that's actually what happens. So this level up threshold will add more to that in the future. And as you see here in the logic, what happens is, of course, we show here the message level up. So what happens here is the next time we want to level up, the level threshold will be 2000 because we multiply that level threshold. So it becomes harder and harder to go to your next level, of course. Next time it will be 4000, 8000, etc. So we have also had a new statistic, for example, for the level up and a new sound. So that's about it for that. The last thing I have added, and I want to start the sandbox here, is I've added a new scroll called a wet scroll. And let's just see if I can have